I never thought my marriage would end like this. If you had asked me a year ago, I would have said that Emma and I were happy, a solid couple, built on love, trust, and years of shared memories. But looking back, I now see the subtle cracks I had ignored, the red flags I had brushed off, and the gut feeling I had pushed aside in the name of love. Emma and I had been married for 7 years. We met in college. She was the charming, outgoing girl who could light up any room, and I was the quiet, ambitious guy who preferred deep conversations over loud parties. Somehow we clicked. Our relationship wasn't perfect, but I believed we were in it for the long haul. We had a beautiful home, stable jobs, and what I thought was a strong marriage. I worked as a software engineer, often pulling long hours to provide a good life for us. Emma had her own career in marketing, working with different clients and attending networking events. We didn't have kids yet, but we had plans that, in my mind, made our future solid and certain. But certainty is a lie we tell ourselves when we don't want to see the truth. It started small. Missed calls. Late nights at work. Little white lies that seemed insignificant at first. I had a late client meeting, Emma would say, dropping her bag by the door at 11 p.m. Sorry, I forgot to text back. She would tell me when I asked why she hadn't responded for hours. It didn't feel like a big deal at first. She had always been dedicated to her job, and I trusted her. But then, things began to shift in ways I couldn't ignore. She became distant, her laughter quieter, her touch more hesitant. Conversations that once flowed so easily between us became short, mechanical responses. "How was your day?" I would ask. "Fine," she would say, barely looking up from her phone. And then there was the phone itself. She used to leave it lying around, unlocked, without a second thought. Now, it was always face down, always on silent, and she never let it out of her sight. One evening, I came home earlier than expected. Emma wasn't in the living room, so I walked to our bedroom, pushing the door open just in time to see her quickly locking her phone and shoving it under a pillow. Her eyes widened for a fraction of a second before she forced a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Hey, you're home early," she said, her voice too casual. "What were you doing?" I asked, trying to keep my voice light. She shrugged. "Just scrolling through Instagram." I nodded, pretending to believe her, but something about the way she clutched that phone told me she was hiding something. That night, I barely slept. My mind kept replaying that moment, connecting dots I didn't want to see. Then came the biggest red flag yet. One weekend, I suggested we go on a small getaway, just the two of us, like old times. Emma hesitated, biting her lip before saying, "I can't, babe. Work is insane right now. Maybe another time?" Another time never came. A few weeks later, I noticed something that made my stomach drop. Emma was getting dressed for another so-called work event, and she was putting in extra effort, more than usual. Her makeup was flawless, her perfume stronger, and her dress was something I hadn't seen before. "Wow," I said, forcing a smile. "You look amazing." She smiled back, but there was something guarded in her eyes. "Thanks. It's just a dinner with some clients." I nodded, watching her grab her phone before she left the room. That damn phone. The moment she was out the door, I felt the urge to check something. I knew Emma's work calendar was linked to our shared account. I pulled up my phone and checked her schedule for the evening. Nothing. No scheduled dinner. No meeting. Nothing at all. I stared at the screen, my heart pounding. She had just lied to my face. I put the phone down, my hands shaking. Why would she lie if it was just a work dinner? I could have confronted her right then. I could have called her, demanded the truth. But something inside me held back. I needed proof. The next morning, I decided to do something I never thought I would. I waited until Emma went to take a shower, and then, with my heart hammering in my chest, I picked up her phone. Locked. Of course. But I knew her well enough to guess her passcode. Her birthday. The screen unlocked. My hands felt clammy as I scrolled through her messages. Most of them were normal, friends, family, work contacts. And then I saw it. A conversation with someone named Ryan. Ryan? My breath caught in my throat as I opened the chat. Ryan. Last night was incredible. I can't stop thinking about you. Emma, me too. I wish we had more time together. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. The messages continued, spanning weeks, maybe even months. Flirty exchanges, secret meetups, even pictures. My hands shook as I scrolled through the messages, my worst fears confirmed in bright, unforgiving text. Emma wasn't just cheating on me. She was in a full-blown relationship with another man. I felt sick. I wanted to scream, to throw the phone, to storm into the bathroom and demand answers. But instead, I did something smarter. I took screenshots. Every single message, every picture, every detail, and I sent them to my own email. Then, I placed her phone exactly where it was and walked out of the room, my heart pounding in my ears. I had all the proof I needed. But confronting Emma wasn't enough. I was going to make sure everyone knew the truth. I sat in the living room, staring at my phone screen, my mind racing. Every screenshot, every message, every piece of evidence sat in my inbox like a loaded gun. Emma had no idea that her secret life was now in my hands. For a few minutes, I considered confronting her right away, demanding answers, screaming in her face, asking her why she had done this to me. But then, something inside me shifted. No. That's exactly what she would expect. If I wanted justice, I had to be smart about it. I started paying closer attention to Emma's movements. For the next week, I played the role of the clueless husband while gathering more proof. She still left late at night for work meetings. She smiled at me in the mornings, kissing me on the cheek before rushing off, probably to meet Ryan. She avoided intimacy, claiming she was too tired or too stressed. I acted normal. I kissed her back. I asked her about her day. She had no idea that I knew everything. Since we had a joint bank account, I decided to check if she was spending money on Ryan. And sure enough, there it was. Hotel bookings under different names. Expensive dinners at places she never mentioned. Even a weekend spa trip, which she told me was a girl's getaway. I clenched my fists. She had been using our money to fund her affair. One evening, I decided to test her. Hey, babe, I said casually. Wanna go out for dinner tomorrow? Maybe that Italian place you love. Emma barely looked up from her phone. Oh, I can't, babe. Work dinner. I smiled. Lied to my face. Again. That was the moment I knew I couldn't just confront her and walk away. I needed to destroy her lies. The next day, I left work early. Emma had told me she would be at a work dinner until 10 p.m. So, at 8 p.m., I parked outside her office. The parking lot was almost empty. Emma wasn't there. I checked the hotel receipts from our joint account. She had booked a room at a boutique hotel downtown. My chest burned with anger, but I forced myself to stay calm. I wasn't going to ruin this by acting rashly. I called a private investigator the next day. I needed solid proof, photos, videos, timestamps, undeniable evidence that Emma was cheating. 2 days later, the investigator called me back. She's definitely cheating, he said, sending me photos. I opened them. Emma and Ryan entering the hotel. Them kissing in the elevator. A dinner date where she was holding his hand across the table. I clenched my jaw. That was it. That was everything I needed. Emma had no idea what was coming. I planned my revenge carefully. 1. I made copies of everything, screenshots, photos, bank statements. 2. I contacted her boss and sent proof that she had been lying about her work events. 3. I called our friends and family, setting up a dinner at our house for the weekend. She had no idea that her entire world was about to crumble. On Friday night, I acted completely normal. Excited for our dinner tomorrow? I asked. Emma smiled. Of course, babe. It'll be nice to see everyone. She kissed me, completely unaware that tomorrow would be the worst night of her life. The next evening, everyone arrived, Emma's parents, my parents, our closest friends. Emma was laughing and chatting, playing the role of the perfect wife. Then I stood up. I just want to thank everyone for coming tonight, I said, my voice calm. And I also want to share something important about my wife. Emma's smile froze. I pulled out my laptop and connected it to the TV. The room fell silent as the photos and messages appeared on the screen. Gasps filled the room. Emma's mother covered her mouth in shock. Her father stood up angrily. "What is this?" Emma stammered. I stared directly at her. "It's proof, Emma. Proof that you've been lying.
Cheating.
Using our money to fund your affair." She turned pale. "Wait, it's not." "Oh, it's exactly what it looks like," I interrupted. "And now, everyone knows the truth." Ryan's wife was in the room too. She was shaking with rage, her eyes burning into Emma. "You slept with my husband?" she hissed. Emma looked around, trapped like a cornered animal. I can explain," she stammered. "No need," I said coldly, "because I've already filed for divorce. And I made sure the court has all this evidence." Emma's mouth opened, but no words came out. By the time the night was over, Emma was in tears, begging me to talk privately. But I was done. Her parents were furious at her. Our friends were disgusted. Ryan's wife had slapped Ryan across the face before storming out. Emma lost everything that night. Her reputation, her marriage, her dignity. And me? I walked away with my head held high, knowing that I had exposed her for who she truly was. The silence after my revelation was deafening. Emma stood frozen in place, her eyes darting around the room, searching for a way out. But there was no way out. Not this time. "Wait, just listen." Emma lunged toward me, reaching for my arm. I stepped back. "Listen to what, Emma? More lies?" Tears welled up in her eyes. It wasn't like that. Ryan and I. Don't you dare say it was a mistake." I cut her off. "You didn't just slip and fall into a hotel room with him." A few people in the room scoffed. Even her own parents looked disgusted. Ryan, the coward, was standing near the door, his head down. His wife, Sarah, was glaring at him with pure hatred. "Oh, now you don't have anything to say," she spat. "You had plenty to say in those texts you sent my husband's wife." Ryan's head shot up. "Wait, what?" Sarah pulled out her phone and held it up. "Yeah, idiot. You really thought she wasn't sending me everything?" Ryan's face turned white. Emma looked between me and Sarah, realizing that she was completely trapped. She took a shaky breath. I only did it because I thought you were cheating first." I raised an eyebrow. "Excuse me?" Emma pointed a trembling finger at me. "You were always working late. Always on your phone. I thought you were seeing someone else." I let out a dry, humorless laugh. "So, your solution was to sleep with my best friend?" I was hurt, she shouted. "You ignored me. You never looked at me the way you used to." Emma's mother gasped. "Emma, stop." "No, Mom." Emma's voice cracked. "I was lonely, okay? He didn't care about me anymore." I shook my head. "That's your excuse? That I was working to provide for us, so you decided to cheat?" She nodded desperately. "Yes. I thought you were cheating first, so." I cut her off. "Then show me the proof." She blinked. "What? Where's your proof that I ever cheated, Emma?" I asked. "Because I have plenty of proof that you did." She opened and closed her mouth, but no words came out. That was it. The moment she realized she had lost. I turned to the room. "Well, I guess that's that. I just wanted everyone to know the truth." I grabbed my car keys and turned to leave. Emma panicked. "Wait. Please, let's talk, just us." She ran after me, grabbing my arm again. I pulled away. "We have nothing to talk about, Emma." Tears streamed down her face. "I love you. Please, we can fix this." I turned back one last time. "If you loved me, you wouldn't have betrayed me." And with that, I walked out. I walked out of the house, my heart pounding in my chest. The cold night air hit my face, but I barely felt it. Behind me, I could still hear Emma crying, her voice breaking as she tried to stop me from leaving. But I didn't stop. I couldn't. As I reached my car, my phone buzzed. Dozens of messages flooded in. "Emma, please, don't leave like this. Let's talk." "Emma, I swear I'll make this right." "Ryan, man, I screwed up. Please, let's talk." "Sarah, I'm filing for divorce tomorrow. You should too." I ignored Emma and Ryan's messages. But Sarah's? I sent a simple reply. I will. Because she was right. Emma and Ryan had made their choices. Now they would face the consequences. The next day, I met with my lawyer. Divorce proceedings were set in motion. I had screenshots, emails, and even call logs showing Emma's affair. There was no way she could spin this in her favor. That evening, I got a call from Emma's father, Mr. Dawson. Ethan, he sighed heavily. I just want to say, I'm sorry. I was silent for a moment. He continued, I raised her better than this. I don't know what got into her. But whatever happens, I understand why you're leaving. I appreciated that. But the truth was, Emma was responsible for her own actions. By the end of the week, everyone knew. Sarah wasn't quiet about what had happened. She told her entire social circle. Ryan was kicked out of their house and was staying at a cheap motel. His job? In jeopardy. Emma, meanwhile, was facing isolation. Her parents were furious. Her friends were disgusted. Even her own colleagues at work looked at her differently. She had destroyed everything. A few weeks later, just as I was finalizing everything for the divorce, Emma showed up at my apartment. She looked exhausted, like she hadn't slept in days. Her once confident posture was gone, replaced with hesitation and guilt. Can I come in? She whispered. I leaned against the doorframe. Why? She swallowed hard. I miss you. I messed up. And I know you hate me, but please. I'll do anything to fix this. For a split second, I saw a glimpse of the woman I once loved. But then I remembered what she had done. I shook my head. There's nothing to fix, Emma. Tears welled up at her eyes. Ethan, please. No, I said firmly. You blamed me for your choices, lied to my face, humiliated me in front of our family and friends. She broke down sobbing. I lost everything, she whispered. No one talks to me anymore. My own parents barely look at me. Ryan, he was a mistake. But you. She sniffled. You were my everything. And I destroyed it. I didn't reply. Because she was right. That was the last time I saw her. The divorce went through a few months later. I got the house and she moved in with her parents. Ryan? Last I heard, his wife took him to the cleaners. He lost half his assets and was forced to quit his job because his reputation was ruined. Emma was now completely alone. And as for me, I had finally found peace.